just going to pull away so you can appreciate how quiet this is. Hello all and welcome back to the Peak Talk Motoring channel, and welcome to my quick overview of my new project on the channel. This is a BMW 728i Sport. It's the 728, obviously that's the 2.8 straight 6, it's not the V8, it's not the 740, and it's certainly not the 750, which was a V12, but I think it's a BMW. We're in the modern age when fuel is ridiculously expensive. If you're having a BMW, you've got to have a 6-cylinder, haven't you? This 328, wow, I've never actually owned a 328. This 728 is the same unit pretty much that went in so many BMWs, nice bit of rust there, and it's a pretty bulletproof lump, touch wood. Now, we're going to go through the good bits on the car and the bad bits, and I'm also going to do obviously a series on this car to show you some other work that I've already done on it, one being the damage to this front right corner that the previous owner, Rob, said he did on a dry stone wall one night in the rain when it was very dark. I think he just had a few too many sherries. Rob, hello if you're watching, but that's all sorted now. I'll drop in some pictures of the damage before I fixed it, but I'm super chuffed with how that came out for basically a DIY body shop job. I haven't even polished it. I'm going to wait for the lacquer to go really hard first before I even take a polishing mop to it, but really chuffed with that. I'll do another little video or a little series on how I fixed that. It was my first major piece of body shop that I've done ever, really, and certainly the first on this car. Now, let's come down to the nitty gritty. How much did this car cost me? 2,000 quid? 5,000 quid? Now, it does have a bit of a secret. Can you guess? It is a Cat D. Now, I've done some digging, some major digging on this, and it was a Cat D in 2012. Now, a Cat D is like an economic write-off. Now, with some digging through past owners and some stalking and stuff and getting in touch with people, it has been Cat D'd because of a cosmetic damage to the bonnet and the front headlight system and the bumper. Now, that was done in 2011, I think, or was it 2012? And doing some digging, it turns out that it was damaged during a storm. So it had storm damage. I believe a tree landed on the bonnet, did some damage to the front left wing, the front right wing, and the bonnet needed completely redoing. All the headlights were smashed, but someone took it on and did that repair pretty well, I would say. The respray to the bonnet is pretty damn good. When you get up close, it's a little bit orange peely, but that's to be expected with any BMW, to be honest. And yeah, apart from that, it's absolutely mechanically sound. Now, not the last owner, but the one before that was an ex-BMW mechanic, and he has refreshed completely the suspension, the front and rear suspension. So the trailing arms on the rear, the front lower wishbones, all the anti-roll bars, the struts are brand new, the brakes are brand new. As you can see, you've got the sort of Brembo 4-pot pistons on those calipers on the front. Discs are brand new. It's got the M parallel wheels, which are obviously very nostalgic. I don't even think Mr. Bond had those on his car, or maybe he did, I can't remember. But yes, this is a Bond car, everyone. Well, the 750 was, but let's not forget, if Rob had put that in the advert, he probably could have charged me another couple of grand, but he didn't. But I'll be doing that when I sell it. M parallel wheels look stunning, and just have a nice little check of my bodywork. You can see before I did this, all this was cracked. I need to get this panel off and sort of redo that because it's popped out a little bit when I put the bumper back on. But all this was cracked. This was cracked down here. That's all been repaired, but I do need to polish up the lacquer. But why not take it on? Like, someone's taken it on. It's had, I think, 11 or 12 successful MOTs since then through various owners, so it doesn't really bother me. It was fine to insure it. The insurance is pretty cheap, and it is a BMW individual spec. It's worth keeping on the road. You can see lovely blue carpets with light blue piping in the back. Plenty of leg room for the titans of industry to be wafted around in comfort. It is missing the little Motorola, or it might have been Nokia. It is missing the little car phone, but I'm not too worried about that. That book alone, that Bentley service manual, is worth about 50 quid, and I've used that already to try and help me get some bits of the trim off and the bumpers and that. One of the other things is this car normally should have like a hydraulic lift system on the boot. That's just completely not working. The button from the inside in the driver's footwell is missing, so the only way to open the boot is with the key. Now, yeah, it's a full-size spare in here. I got a load of spares already from the previous owner. Some of them I bought myself. Bottle of Timmy Taylor's in there if I want to get thirsty. So a full-size M parallel spare in there, and the boot floor is a little bit surface rust, but majority is nice and dry. Had the jack out already. Got my fishing gear in there. Check the toolkit. All present and correct. All present and correct. Look at that. Lovely job. Now this car will be going to Austria in a couple of weeks' time. And what other way to do it in comfort and style than an old E38? Now I've averaged about 33, 34 on a motorway trip in the UK, so probably a bit less when I'm on the autobahns. But yeah, it's pretty good economy. Fuel prices coming down a little bit. Another thing I mentioned about this, see that twin aerial? It's got a TV tuner, which doesn't work anymore because no one has analog TVs, but it does actually have TV, and all the gubbins for that are in the back. I'll just be bypassing that with the Bluetooth module for now, but what a motor. There are some things I'll be doing to it. I've had to fix a fuel leak that I had on it already. So this car's got a colossal fuel tank, like a saddlebag fuel tank, which straddles the kind of drivetrain at the back, straddles the prop shaft and the exhaust. And this car was a steel fuel tank just before they went to plastic fuel tanks on the BMWs, so they do rust. I've had a little bit of an issue, not with the tank, because the last but one owner, put a new tank in it, a new steel fuel tank, so it's not leaking, because most of these do leak, and actually had some corroded rubber pipes underneath. Some part of the breather system was leaking. That's the E10 modern fuel just eating the old rubber. So I've replaced that with up-spec hoses, no more fuel leaks, and we're getting good economy. So hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you want to see any more of this car down below. It is going to be a project. There are some other bad bits that I haven't mentioned. Obviously, being a BMW, it has got rust on the wheel arches. All of these go at the wheel arches. It's got a little bit of rust on the bottom of the doors somewhere. I think this side's not too bad. It's the other side where it's a little bit rusty. There's a bit of rust on that one there. Now what the hell is that pink string, I hear you ask? Well, I can't hear you, but anyway, there's a bit of an issue with the bonnet catch. I think that was when the bonnet was replaced, they didn't really put new catches in, and I'll show you why. So to get the bonnet up, you either have to have two people, or you need to put this kind of pink string round the lever, and then a little one round turn 2.5 inches on that to hold the lever, because one of the bonnet poppers, obviously got one on that side, is working. The one on the other side is snapped to the bottom of it, and the spring is poking out the bottom and doesn't have enough kick to push it up. So I just need to buy a new bonnet popper. It took me ages to figure that out at the side of the road. I needed to get the bonnet up just to check the oil and everything when I bought it. It just took me ages. Anyway, there she is, the 6-pot 728i motor. Just done an oil change on it. Never know when it was last done. Oil's nice and clean that came out. It doesn't burn oil, it doesn't smell. It's just pretty straightforward really. Coolant's all good, that's not gone down, so touch wood, not worried about the head gasket too much, although it does get very hot very quickly, this car. It does come to temperature very quickly, which is a little bit worrying, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. There we go, look, built June 01. This is a 22-year-old car now, and there we go, full of Schwarz. That means pen, I believe, in German, so black pen. Don't know what that is, black ink. Anyone German, let me know please in the comments below. Eversblau is the lovely deep metallic colour, and the paint is in such good condition on this car. Apart from the bit I did down there, but gloss over that. Literally will gloss over that because I did use lacquer from a rattle can, and it actually looks pretty good, and it will look even better when I buff it up. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to buy your National Trust memberships and join the Epsom Bowling Club. That tells me that this was in good hands. Epsom Bowling Club member. This is individual spec, and I think the individual part of the spec was this black, I think it's called black charcoal lamb's wool headlining or something. And unlike most 7 Series of this age, it hasn't sagged. So nice work BMW on the BMW individual side of that. In the back, it's obviously pretty basic by modern standards, but you've got cup holders everywhere, ashtrays everywhere. So plenty of smoking opportunities in this old barge. It's got the widescreen later type head unit. an old Parrot, which is someone's retrofitted, and it does pair to the phone. It pairs faultlessly to the phone, but I was making some calls, no one could hear me, and I found, pretty sure, someone has cut the microphone off at some stage, because there's a little stubby wire there, like a microphone input, and that's probably where they had the little bud for the microphone. Someone's cut it off. But anyway, it's a luxury place to be. What the fuck? Prove to you that that's working. Sorry for the interruption there. I just had a call coming in. Dutchies? I don't know. Well, I've got a cycling channel, but this is the car channel. Anyway, prove to you that that Parrot does work. I'll probably try and solder on. I'll have to take this bit of the headlining off, and I'll solder on another microphone input to that to try and get it working. Let's fire up and behold the smooth silky smooth 6-cylinder BMW, the best engine. It's only the 728. Okay, it's the smallest one in the range, but you've got to have a 6-cylinder if you have a BMW. 20 years ago, luxury was, you know, approached in a different manner. Now it's just full of toys and screens and buttons, and, well, not buttons, it's just full of stupid touchscreens and, you know, things to play around with on the dash. But 20 years ago, you know, Lexus, Mercedes, BMW, we were working on just refined comfort and quietness. Hope you like the car. Let me know if you've got any comments down below, anything you want to see me do with it. Hopefully in the next video we'll get it on the ramp, show you all underneath. It's not too bad underneath. A lot of these are covered with so much kind of under trays and soundproofing and stuff underneath that a lot of the road shit and the salt actually protects the chassis, or protects the kind of body, or the monocoque, from a lot of rust. Although the rear jacking points, just behind the rear jacking points, they do go there quite badly, and that is something that I need to look at on this car. There's quite a lot of surface rust just on the sill at the back, because when the jacking points, when the little rubber pad comes off and the plastic snaps because some jerry in a fucking workshop jacks it up in the wrong point, it exposes the sill, the metal sill, and that starts to go. You see there's a little bit of rust coming on the bottom of the door there, but we won't worry about that. And yeah, next job is to get the bumper off and do that bit of bodywork on the back. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. See you in the next one.